Yes.
Trustee Hadnot.
Here.
Trustee Mosley.
Present.
Trustee Romo.
Here.
Trustee Taylor.
Present.
Trustee Williams.
Motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes of May 20, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Any questions? Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Hadnot.
Yes.
Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Trustee Roy.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Motion is approved. Public comments, 3 minutes, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Leon Moore, and I stand before you today. I'm currently the chair of the Fire and Police Commission, and I'd like to offer a message in respect to everyone should know that one of our colleagues, the longest-serving commissioner, Greg Wade, recently passed. And so we want to take a moment to remember Greg and how he has served our village. On behalf of the residents of the village of Glenwood, our fire and police family, village staff, the Honorable Mayor Toledo Hart, and the Board of Trustees, we extend our heartfelt condolences to the family of Greg Wade. Greg's decades of dedicated service on the Commission's Fire and Police Commission has made a lasting impact on the community. His commitment, integrity, and unwavering support for public safety was profoundly felt and greatly appreciated by all who had the honor of working with him. We offer our prayers to his family during this difficult time. May you find comfort in knowing May you find comfort in knowing how much Greg is respected, valued, and loved by so many. His legacy will live on in the village he served faithfully. Deepest sympathies, the village of Glenwood. For those who may not know that Greg's services will be this coming Saturday at the Glenwood facility. And so we just want to take a moment and can have a moment of silence on behalf of our fallen comrade, Greg Ray. I appreciate it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Gerald McCullough. I just need to sign here. I'm the Vice President of the Glenwood Estates Homeowners Association, work with Nellie Briggs, and she had a request that she wanted me to bring to the mayor and the board tonight as it pertains to our 10th annual Jehovah Cookout and Back to School Rally. So she did compose a document which I'll read to you right now. To the Honorable Mayor Hart, village trustees, staff, and the Glenwood community as a whole, we, the Glenwood Estates Homeowners Association, offer greetings to you. For the past 9 years, our association has provided various outreach opportunities to empower and uplift the community. On Saturday, August 16, 2025, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., we are having our 10th annual community cookout and back to school rally at Estates Park on 183rd in Illinois. As we continue to upscale our reach into community building, we are excited about this annual event. We will provide free food, 200 free book bags, free haircuts for the first 25 children, free vegetables while supplies last, raffles, free blood pressure screening, game truck, petting zoo, cardio drumming, Kids with Talent Showcase ice cream truck. The village has partnered with us over the years. This year, we are requesting a donation of $7,500 to assist us in making this event a success. Not only are we building the community through outreach, we also provide food for a group home in our community. Thank you for your service to our community and your attention to this one. I do have some flyers that I brought, if it's okay to pass them out to the trustees, and then I'll sign it.
Any other public comments?
Thank you. I did sign it. All right, thank you all for your time. Appreciate it.
Good evening, Judith Mims, 349 Stripe Lane. I am very concerned with all of Glenwood about the continued cycle of shootings at the Chugga parking lot, especially the parking lot. When it was requested 2 years ago to have security on the parking lot, and we have been assured that there is security on the parking lot. The concern is there is no security on the parking lot. Very much aware that there's security inside in the evening hours. The most concern would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There has been one fatal shooting and 2 other shootings as late as 2 weeks ago. Usually in the evening after 10 o'clock up until 1 p.m. Residents are very traumatized and afraid that live in especially the Estates community, and I am sure the manor. But the restaurant, that's up to the Estates. Last year, there was even one home where a bullet went through a bedroom window. Very concerned and need a response as to is there an ordinance in place regarding this violence that continues to happen. We are very concerned about the safety of all residents in Glenwood, all residents, especially in the Estates community, regarding this continued occurrence. So we would like some response as to what is being in place so that we can feel safe. We don't feel safe at all. Chief Petticourt, I know that you have responded to this more than once at our Glenwood Home Estates community meetings that we have once a month over past the year. I don't know what else to do or to say to have our residents feel safe in our community because of this. I do know that it was promised that there would be security on the parking lot after hours in the evening, because that is when this occurs for the most part. The last shooting that took place, week before last, there was a fight that started inside of the restaurant. It continued to the parking lot. One of the persons went in their car and got the gun and started shooting. No one was injured. Both of the people got away. Good, nobody was injured. But it was a pop, pop, pop about 6 or 7 times after 11 o'clock at night. And we heard it, I heard it. I had just gone to bed and I heard it, and the police were called, they did come, they did investigate. That is my concern this evening, and thank you for your response. Thank you.
Good evening. Board 423 West Maricopa. Two things. First, the baseball season is coming to an end. Last game is coming on the 21st of June. We invite everyone to come on out. Our last game is on that day. Mustangs are going to play at 12 o'clock. And we'd like you to come out and enjoy the game and enjoy the picnic. 12 o'clock game. And 2 o'clock will be the picnic. You're all invited to come out and enjoy. The main reason I am here is to thank, first of all, Trustee Adnott for giving us some input on our Polo Park. And if I look at this correctly, it's a $10 million project. We paid Robinson Engineering $1.2 million. Bought the houses for $1.4 million. The roadway was about $4 million. And that's about $6.6 million. So the rest is about $3.3 million that I'm uncertain about what exactly is going on, or if we have the money. So I was really pleased to see that we're going to be talking about this today, and we hope that you give us some clarity as to what's going on. We see some movement finally. It's getting cleaned up. I haven't seen that in a long time, there's a lot of promises. But we do see some things, but what can we expect it to look like after this $10 million has been spent? And then where do we go from there as far as the playground is concerned, or whatever is going to be here? So I'm glad to see it on the agenda. Hopefully we'll get some details. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Lovey Maddox, and I just want to congratulate all of the mayor and all the new trustees and everyone. My concern is the animals. People can hurt you, but also animals can hurt you also. They hurt me. I had lost my sister, and 5 minutes later, she lost her daughter died. So I lost my sister, and I lost my niece. And a couple of days later, I was going out on my deck. I had cats that come into my yard several times, and they get on my furniture. and I'm allergic to cats, and I'm also fearful of cats. And when they get on your furniture, and you can't have your furniture, they carry diseases like bird flu and different things. So the cats are taking over Glenwood. You see them all up and down the street, everywhere. I went on my deck and I was really, mine was, far out. As I said, I had two deaths in my family at one time. And I was walking with my head down and I kind of looked up and I thought it was a rat on my deck. And I was very afraid, so I started backing back real quick, and I fell back, was catching my body on my hands, which broke my wrists in 3 places. I only had to deal with the death of my sister, my niece. I had family coming to town, but now I have to deal with, I'm right-handed, and I can't do anything with my right hand. So I spent that day at the emergency, and also my grandson had his last game in Milwaukee that night, and I was playing the dog. I'm saying all this to say that something needs to be done about these animals. I've been out here 45 years, and they used to have animal control. And although the police and others would tell you that it wasn't no animal control, I know different. The police came. I called my neighbor because I was really hysterical, and I called the police, and I said to them, something got to be done. And the lady police officer was very nice, very nice. The guy police officer came in, and I was crying, and I was talking, and he wasn't so nice to me. I don't think. He told me because I said it used to be animal control down here. He said to me I was being political. And I don't know what that was all about, but I thought he was being political. And not only the cats that took over, because they have these litters and they have stuff out. And he said, well, you can take your cat to the Humane Society, but you have to pay for them to go. Now, why would I pay for a cat that don't belong to me? I don't have nothing against people and their animals, okay? But I think if you have animals, they are personal. So you should keep your animals in your house to yourself. They are not, everybody are not animal lovers. And if that have nothing to do with nothing, but some people are actually allergic. And some people are actually definitely afraid of animals. So you need to do something about these people who let their animals just run up and down the roads and the street and everything. I was doing my yard, here come a big dog. I'm running from the dog, and they were trying to save me from the dog. This was just me. A lot of you guys know me from working up at the sign, with the flowers and different things, trying to make. I love Glenwood. I wouldn't have been here so long if I did. But I want Glenwood to come back to what it used to be. It's not fair. And I want it to come back, so I'll, at my age, get out of work. I don't mind getting out of work. But it can't come back unless all of us work together. Now, I heard that some people have vowed not to work with you there. And I hope it's not true. Because one thing about it, if you go down, we all go down. For the simple fact, our homes are generational wealth. And if we don't care enough about ourselves to want to succeed and have our nice homes and stuff and, have everything nice for us to pass down to our children or whatever we want to do, keep our property value up, then we're not crazy. If we're going to try to hurt you, we will be crazy because we are hurting ourselves. So I think what we should strive to do is all of us work together. All of us work as Christians together. Some are not probably Christians, but just treat your neighbor the way you want to be treated. Okay? And that's all I have to say.
In progress.
That's all I have to say. I just want to say something got to be done about the animals because not only people can kill, but animals can kill also. trucking companies has took their homes, and now they are making our homes their homes, and it's not a good picture. Thank you.
Thank you. Our condolences. And just a reminder, public comments is 3 minutes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome, new members and everyone else to the board. I'm coming today to talk about what's been talked about for like the last 3 or 4 years, kind of piggybacking off the young lady that just left, Anthony News. And I stay at 417 Minerva. Okay, well, I'm gonna put it out there anyway because I'm highly concerned about the neighbor's house that's next door to me. And it's a serious problem that I'm dealing with and I'm frustrated about. One, I keep my property up. I have a pool in my yard that's being inspected tomorrow. The lady next door to me has an in-ground pool in her yard that has the cover off, and the water is as dirty as your seats. So guess what? We're gonna have mosquitoes soon all over the area. This is the same lady that's feeding all the animals, the cats that's running in the neighborhood. Now there are cats, skunks, and beavers that's running between my house, the other neighbor house that I'm sure you know has been talking about the same issue, and it's terrible. It smells like cat manure every time I walk outside. How can you invest in something for over 20 years and lose it overnight because of a neighbor that is not doing anything for her property, and the village is not doing anything to subpoena her or make her do what she needs to do? It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I cannot get up. I can't even open my windows. I'm smelling cat urine and manure. I can't sit out in my backyard, watch TV, because as soon as it gets dark, there's 5 or 6 raccoons running in my yard with skunks, and then beavers are coming in through the day. Yeah, beavers, brown beavers. So I know there's a bigger agenda here. You guys have larger issues within the village, but this is something that needs to be investigated or looked into. We all invest in our property. As the young lady said, our property is generational, and when our village go down, our property go down, and guess what? There's going to be more shootings. There's going to be more cars flying up and down the river like they do now. Don't stop at the stop sign. Thank you, Petticourt, because I do see police cars sitting out there now and catching them. But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And somebody's kid is going to get hurt flying with them cars flying down the river by that park. I hope it never happens. But it needs to be looked at. And I'm highly concerned about the animals like the young kids. The cats that took over the neighborhood, they gangsters. I mean, they just walk across the street and want you to stop your car to let them cross the street. And then turn around and look at you. I'm serious. I mean, I'm laughing, but this is a serious matter. I can't keep coming out of my house smelling cat urine and seeing 5 to 10 cats laying in front of her house, just laying out there. And you see the pans that she's feeding, a pan for water and a pan for food. That's all I'm gonna say. Hopefully you guys can look into that.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sherry Brown, and I just wanted to bring something to your attention. I had a friend text me the other day. I just want to show you this. Let me just. I didn't print it out.
We're aware. Okay. Yeah, I'm concerned. She showed me a flyer of the Franklin this one. That there's no permit for that, and that we are aware of keeping an eye on it.
Okay, perfect. Yes, there's, like Mayor Hart was just saying, there's a flyer, and I didn't know if it was AI generated or what it was, but when I saw it, I said, there's no way that this is happening, and I just wanted to know if there was something that was.
We're aware. It came to our attention last week. So
Okay.
we're aware right now.
It's the flyer, but anyway, Sherry Brown, and I'll sign it in, but it's on the show.
Right, we are aware. Okay. Jensen, bills payable.
Bills payable for the May 30th, 2025, corporate was $88,773.92. Sewer and water, $30,627.49. Glenwood Golf Course, $43,634.34. Total all funds was $163,035.75. There's one item I want to just at least call out that's in here. There's an amount for international restaurants for $13,439.78. That will be coming out of the ARPA funds, as this was the equipment going into the Blakey Center.
Thank you. Can I have a motion for bills payable May 30, 2025, a total of all funds for $163,035.75.
So
So moved.
Trustee Rowe. Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Hadnot.
Yes.
Trustee Taylor.
Yes. Motion passed. Payroll.
For payroll for the check dated of May 30th of 2025, administrative payroll was $21,928.19. Public Works, $12,063.09. Police Department, $111,033.52. Fire Department, $33,823.84. Senior Center, $345.99. Elected positions, $11,208.32. Sewer and water, $22,402.88. Glenwood Golf Course, $42,789.52. This makes a total payroll of $255,595.35.
Can I get a motion for payroll for check date May 30, 2025, total payroll of $255,595.35.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Any questions?
Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Trustee Hadnot.
Yes.
Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Rowe.
Motion passed. Next agenda items, I want to move it around, you to move up the attorney's report only for the sequence, because the appointments are required after the resolution, so I want to do the
Good evening, everyone. The first is resolution number 2025-03, which is a resolution adopting the civility pledge in the village of Glenwood, Cook County, Illinois. This is simply a formal public declaration of the board's commitment to honor the civility pledge, which you talked about and everyone recited. That is your first one after installation. So this is a formality accepting.
Can I get a motion for resolution number 2025-03?
So moved.
Any questions? Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Hadnot,
Yes.
Trustee Roll, Trustee Mosley,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Taylor,
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Motion passed.
Next on the agenda is resolution 04. This is a resolution appointing your police chief, Derek Pettyford, as the village of Glenwood's public safety representative, and J.R. Patton to the Glenwood Econ Board of Directors. With respect to these appointments, your Econ Emergency Telephone System board, it is governed by a board of directors, and it consists of representatives that have been appointed by municipalities, and that includes fire chiefs, police chiefs. And so what you're doing is you are formally appointing Police Chief Pettyford as the Glenwood's public safety representative, and then with respect to Mr. Patton, he will be a member of the board of directors.
Can I have a motion for resolution number 2025-04?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
So, we appointed J.R. Patton for 6 months. So, would appointing him to Econ for a 6-month term, or how does that work?
The term, if I'm not mistaken, is 1 year, but if he is not here after the year, it would just simply be another appointment that would be made. If he's gone, then we just have to make it. But that's typically the term.
Any other questions? No other questions, clerk call the roll.
Trustee Williams,
No.
Trustee Taylor,
Yes.
Trustee Roll, Trustee Mosley,
Yes.
Trustee Hadnot,
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Next on the agenda is resolution number 2025-05. This is a resolution appointing, authorizing, and approving the appointment of a representative and alternate to the Econ Southcom Joint Emergency Telephone System Board. And this is, once again, this is your joint board, and what you are doing is formally making the appointments as outlined.
Can I have a motion for resolution number 2025-05?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Questions?
I have a question. This is an appointment of a representative and alternate. Do we have an alternate person in mind?
For this, these are mandates. These are mandates, and that the reason that it's before you is because the retirement of the fire chief, what the fire chief was a part of, and that part of the so it's actually it would be the mayor as the alternative, and so then that appointment is in my absence, then the administrator would attend those meetings, So this is nothing new. This is an annual training where you have to have a resolution as a part of your income.
I have a question. So one is Econ, and then one is Econ South Econ.
One is your joint, one is econ, and the other is your joint emergency office.
It is, as I indicated, it is approved on an annual basis. So it is no new language, nothing new, just who's sitting at the table change. Municipalities have to have a representative from administration and from public safety, either police or fire. Any other questions? Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Hadnot,
Yes.
Trustee Mosley,
Yes.
Trustee Roll,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
No.
Trustee Taylor,
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Motion approved.
And the last item is 2025-03, which is an ordinance amending the Village of Glenwood Code of Ordinance regarding board meeting rules, procedures, attendance, and public comment. Currently, your current board rules are outdated, and so this was an attempt to update the rules. In addition, it updates the authorized reasons for remote attendance. Your rules that are currently in place are not in line with what is statutorily allowed for remote meetings. And also, it updates your rules for public comments, and additionally, it allows for to have on your agenda, it creates the consent agenda.
Motion for ordinance number 2025-03.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Any questions?
I have a question. The old ordinance, so it says as far as remote attendance, at this point now, I'm just reiterating that the only way that someone or a trustee, I'm assuming, can be in remote attendance is if they're ill or disability, if their job, something happens with their job, family emergency, or unexpected child care obligation. That's the amendment, is that correct, where that's how the old ordinance was, or this is the amended part?
This is the amendment.
Because I didn't have the old ordinance, I mean, I'm in agreement with it, but I didn't have the old ordinance to compare what the old ordinance was versus what's now new, okay, in it. So my questions to you would be, I'm just making sure this is new and it's not old.
No, this is new, and this is what is statutorily allowed. You can't, well, unfortunately, some of the outdated ordinances have the misconception that you can just attend remotely, such as like you were with COVID, and then a little bit after post-COVID, and that's not allowed. There are specific reasons, and these are the reasons that are outlined in what you have before you.
It's the same
It's telling you when you are able to participate in your remote attendance. So just saying, I don't feel well, if it's a serious illness or disability, but just say, I don't feel like coming in, I work late, I'm tired, I'm just gonna Zoom, log on. No, you can't do that.
You're on here for a minute. The original ordinance was created due to a job that one of the trustees had in Nassau. So I was on the board when that ordinance was created. And we created it for him because he traveled down to Mississippi to do his job in Nassau.
Can you speak in the mic? That's why y'all got mics. Ain't nobody here.
You can't hear me?
No, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me, but I'm real loud.
And we sitting up front, we still can't hear
You
you.
can't hear me?
No.
Okay. was created for a trustee that had a job with NASA. So that ordinance was created for him for one reason: when he was out of town for work, that he could attend the meetings. It was not meant ever to be used for any other purpose other than work. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Additionally, the other misconception is that you can just log on. There are procedures in which you must follow with respect to being allowed to participate remotely, such as once you get to the meeting, the board members that are physically in attendance must then determine that the person that is not in attendance is able to participate because of one of these reasons, and they usually, then you have to vote to allow that trustee who is not in attendance to participate remotely. So this has the procedures in place for you.
Okay, then there's some place in here that talks about the sergeant at arms. And the sergeant at arms is, if I'm not mistaken, Chief Petticourt, is that correct? Okay. And also the sergeant at arms gets, that person, Chief Petticourt, is the one that says, hey, your 3 minutes is almost up. That's what's in here, if I'm not mistaken or no. Like if someone goes to 5 minutes in public comments, but we say that the ordinance is now 3 minutes, who's that person that's going to have a clock that's in here someplace, that have a clock that say, hey, okay, you're almost at that 3 minutes instead of going 20, 15, 10, you know?
The clerk has the timer and
Okay.
will dictate the 3 minutes is.
And my last question, just want to reiterate. And here it says that if the public, and please correct me if I'm mistaken, if the public becomes disruptive, or let's say anybody becomes disruptive, combative, et cetera, that then the police chief has the authorization to stop that and or arrest that person. That's what I read in here, is that correct?
At the direction of the mayor.
Thank you.
What was the response? What was the response?
At the direction of the mayor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? And it is this administration intent that we will review all ordinance on the book as well as enforcing all of the statutory laws and that, and because they have not been reviewed on an annual basis, we will be reviewing them to update them to ensure that we're in compliance with statutory.
Can I say something? I think I feel allowed to say something, trustee, on my last comment. While that absolutely can occur with arrest, typically what happens is you will have, there's a police officer or police chief that will ask the person to be removed. They, typically doesn't have to get to an arrest unless it's, but what's important to know is that this is a business meeting. You all are up here conducting business. And if you were at work and someone just started loading out in a business meeting, and you're trying to conduct business, that person would more than likely be removed. And so that's, if someone is prohibiting you from conducting business, where they're being disruptive, they won't sit down, they're, not allowing you to conduct business, then yes, you would have the police chief to say, hey, we've had that happen in municipalities where they'll ask them to leave. And sometimes they'll just say, can you leave until you get yourself together and you can come back in. But the intent isn't to try to arrest people. Usually it's just let you all conduct business like you're supposed to be doing at this, that time frame.
Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Mosley,
Yes.
Trustee Hadnot,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Roll,
Yeah.
Trustee Williams,
Aye.
Trustee Taylor.
Yes. Motion passed. Communications from the mayor's office. I'm asking for a motion for appointment of Patton to serve on the Econ Board of Directors on behalf of the
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any questions? It goes in line with the resolution that you just. Call the roll.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Trustee Roll.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Hadnot.
Yes.
Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Motion approved. Asking for a motion for appointment of Chief Derek Petticord by the Village of Glenwood to serve as the public safety representative to the Econ Board of Directors.
I second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Trustee Hadnot.
Yes.
Trustee Roll.
Yes.
Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
And number 3, I want to move that motion to enter into executive closed session under Section 2C, 11 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act to discuss possible, probable, intimate litigation against or affecting the village. The basis of the finding, probating in intimate litigation shall be recorded and entered into the meetings of the closed meeting. No actions will be taken, so we'll move that to the end of the meeting. So I want a motion to go into closed session.
Trustee Roll.
Yes.
Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Trustee Hadnot.
Yes.
So trustees, don't try to run away, we got closed session. Village Administrator report.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll try to make this as brief as possible. But a few weeks ago when we were here, I believe it was Trustee Brown that asked me to give an opinion on what the first 100 days for me would look like while I was here. At the time, I said a lot of it for me was going to be assessing the situation, getting to know people in the village, getting to know community stakeholders and that type of thing. So, here, just in my third week, I've got a few things to report on what we've been up to so far. So, as far as the assessment phase, within those first few days, I had a great tour of all of our public works facilities with the public works director. I also had a very extensive tour of the grounds at Glenwood Golf Course with our superintendent Lee, and then I had the opportunity to be driven around the village in its entirety by Police Chief Kenny Ford and Deputy Chief Wilbanks, with some particular attention shown to me to areas that tend to be quieter, to areas that tend to have a little bit higher instance of issues. So kind of giving me that familiar. In addition to that, I have been familiarizing myself front to back with the CBAs for both public works employees and our police union, especially with respect to the union whose contract is going to be entering negotiations soon. As far as community outreach, I had the opportunity already to attend the ribbon cutting the other day at Glenwood Academy on the new STEM lab that they opened in partnership with the Mentoring Youth Through Technology Foundation, ComEd, and Comcast, and I'm working with the president's office there to set up a formal tour to get a better understanding of the academy, the grounds, their mission, and their partnership with the village. And as far as regional relationships, I've attended two meetings with the Southland Development Agency, one breakfast with 4 new mayors and new administrators in the Southland to talk about things the Southland Development Agency can help provide to smaller villages that don't have full-time or robust economic development departments. And then just earlier today, attended a bus tour with that same agency throughout the Southland to take a look at some of the economic development projects they help work on in other communities. Both to give us some ideas here what we can do going forward, but also to give us an idea of how we can leverage those partnerships with some of our more regional partners for the long-term success of the village. I had the opportunity yesterday afternoon to reconnect with Benita from ComEd, who I know from previous employment, and she gave me a pretty in-depth report on the overall efficiency of ComEd here in the village of Glenwood in 2024. Ironically enough, I was sitting with her when the accident happened yesterday. Took out the power lines and lost power here in Village Hall briefly, but she had a good report that I'm happy to share with anybody that would like to see it. Essentially, it's at 99.4% effectiveness for ComEd last year, with the bulk of the outages coming that's weather or storm related. I had the opportunity along with the mayor to meet several business owners here to get a better understanding of current agreements between businesses in the village, hurdles that might be in place that needs to continue to have successful business here within the village. I want to turn quickly to resident complaints because there have been a number of complaints I think that have been lingering for a while that have been handed off to me. The gentleman that came up and spoke during public comment, his issue is one that Fire Chief and I have been talking about on an almost daily basis now for the last week. We are on it and working on it. Some action was taken today, I believe. I think some more things are happening tomorrow with that particular issue. So we're working on that, as well as, there were a few other issues related to sewer backups. There was a woman that was here at the board meeting 2 weeks ago, frustrated with the Markham courthouse and the court system due to a crime that she suffered, as they will contact the state's attorney's office, victim witness unit, and get them in touch with her to provide her with the resources and assistance that she could have to kind of ease herself through that process. I know there was another kind of hot button complaint related to kind of the area on kind of Grove just east of Assumption Cemetery, where some residents noticed that there was some development going on there that looks like it's possibly going to be a trucking facility or a truck parking facility. Spoke with the engineers and officials with Cook County to determine that development is occurring on property that is not incorporated in the village of Lebanon. It's in unincorporated Cook County, so it's therefore not subject to any of our ordinances or our zoning code. And finally, the final thing to report on tonight, during my ride around with the police chief, a house was shown to me not too far from Village Hall here. The address is 23 North Wabash. If you're familiar with it, it's a little yellow house that is literally falling in on itself. It was tagged by the fire department a year ago as a potential demo and a hazard to the community. And I've been working with our attorneys to expedite the demolition process to get authority from the circuit court for us to get that house down. So it's no longer a liability to the village, but also we'll stop impacting the property values of our around it, because studies have shown that within Cook County, the existence of an abandoned or blighted property on a particular area will drive property values of the neighboring properties down anywhere between 8 and 10%. So we want to get that down not only for safety in the community, but to help kind of help our property tax collection rates come back and help, hopefully clear the path for future development of a home on that site and get back on the tax rolls. Thank you.
Engineer report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As most of you have probably noticed, work has resumed on the Arcole Park project this week. Penn Oceanic, that's the contractor working on the project, has provided an estimate or a scheduled completion that lists July 14th as the final completion date. When that's done, when we'll have essentially a blank slate for new amenities. I kind of want to go back to the beginning. Just a reminder that the purpose of this project was not to create a new park. The purpose of the project is to remove the 9 houses that were in what FEMA calls the 100-year floodplain. That's 1% chance every year that those are going to flood. It also was meant to protect the 15 homes beyond Park Drive that are in the 500-year floodplain. That's what FEMA calls the area that has a 0.2% annual chance of flooding. And additionally, beyond that, there's 17 more properties that have portions of their property that are in that floodplain, even though the structure of the homes are not. I do have some maps here showing which of those houses are, if anyone is interested. With the 9 residential properties removed, constructed close to Park Drive, the usable area of the park is actually going to be a little bit more than it was before. Going way back, this all started in 2008 with Hurricane Ike, caused devastation in the Caribbean area, and then it kind of moved up, and it just floated around the Midwest, and it rained for like a week straight. That's the last time that there's been, what they call a 100-year flood. So after that, MWRD did a study on Thorn Creek, Deer Creek, and Butterfield Creek. That's all the stormwater that comes from the south. It actually all comes through Glenwood, right past Arcola Park, before it heads towards the Little Calumet River. So they determined in that study that the Arcola Park overall was a good value for an improvement project. So they determined that those houses that are going to be protected are worth $3.7 million. So that's where they got the funding from. It's based on the value of the homes that are protected. Unfortunately, right around that time is when the market changed. There was also the housing market, there was also a grant from FEMA to help with acquisition and demolition of those homes. Unfortunately, the way that FEMA works is you can only pay the homeowner the appraised value of the homes. Since the market had gone down, the appraised value was very low, but a lot of those homeowners had mortgages that were much higher than their appraised value. So it took a while to negotiate with those homeowners to purchase those homes. So there's been a couple different versions of the MWRD agreement. The first one was in 2013. It was amended again in 2016 to cover some of the acquisition and demolition costs. Finally, in November of 2023, the final version was approved, which allowed Robinson Engineering to start final design on the levee. So we worked on the final design, had everything set for a bid opening in April of 24. It was awarded April 26, 2024. Project was like it was 1.4 million over the estimate. So it was awarded with the intent to issue a notice to proceed to the contractor to start work on June 1st, 24. Obviously, $1.4 million is a lot of extra money that the village had to come up with. So we're going back and forth with MWRD. Can we get more money? Can we rescope the project? Can we rebid the project? And basically their answer was no. Either move forward with it now or lose the funding. So we did move forward with that about a month and a half late. Therefore, the original completion date of November just wasn't feasible because we already had lost a month and a half. We did work with Public Works we probably saved about $300,000. Public Works took down the baseball field, the scoreboard, did some of the water work, so we were able to cut that overage down a little bit. So when the notice received was finally issued, we're already a month and a half behind. We had a wet fall, again, more delays. We knew that this summer that the reconstruction of 187th Street was going to happen. We wanted to make sure that part of the road was raised before then. So we did allow the contractor to stop work on the levee itself so they could move to the roadway phase to get that road built before the asphalt plants closed in December. So that brings us to spring. They worked till January. Their plan was to wait until spring was over to make sure that there wasn't a bunch of more bad weather, create a muddy mess before they have to finish moving the dirt, spreading the topsoil. So they're back to that now. And that brings us to present day. We are always looking for grants. The Illinois OSLED grant program opens up in July. That is the same grant program that Glenwood used about 10 years ago to do Hickory Glen Park. So we're ready to apply for that. We're going to work with the board of the residents to determine what exactly to apply for. I know we did a survey in the fall to some of the residents, dog park, walking trail, playground. Probably would be a good idea to do another one of those and get that updated. That brings us to present day.
So originally, we had funds from MWRD and FEMA, correct?
Correct.
Were there any other agencies involved in one other than those two?
Well, FEMA, IEMA is the Illinois branch.
Correct, correct.
So, not that I'm aware.
All right, so right now, how much over budget are we? Round number, you don't have to be exact.
I'd say 1.6 million.
1.6 million, okay. As far as the contractor, I'm looking at their notice of contractor agreement, and they should have given you a performance bond. Did they provide a performance bond?
Yes.
They did, all right, good. And, you know, this project has always been kind of a thorn in my side, so I came in afterwards, and I came in on the tail end of the K-Plus plan, which was going to build a new road, and the road was going to end up being the berm, and then we could have saved the 9 houses, which did pay about $18,000 a year in property taxes. They're now lost forever. And they also gave us, well, they gave me, I wasn't on the board then, but they gave the board what's known as the decision matrix. So they actually gave them 4 options to choose. And that'd be nice going forward to have that same thing from you, instead of having 1 option, to have 2, 3, or 4 options. And then we can weigh the costs and weigh the differences. But as you said, this project has been delayed for a long, long time. We bought the last 3 houses at the last minute in the fall of 2019. So for us to go $1.6 million over budget on a project is, I think, irresponsible to the taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Hadnot. Any other questions? Moving on to new business. New business. Old business. I would just like to say that I have reached out to the animal hospital in the past area with regards to filling the position of Paul. So I did have 2 calls. So I have meetings next week, and hopefully we'll be able to fill that position related to the animal control to be able to do that. And I have been in conversations with the owner, Chuck Love, regarding working with the community. And so we will meet, and I will the appropriate department heads as a part of that to start initial conversations, as well as having conversations with a couple of the legislators and the surrounding mayors regarding what we can do collaboratively to look at safety and promoting peace within the Southland region as a whole. And I will keep the community up to date as we move forward with that. But I do just want to let you guys know in our first 3 weeks of sitting here that we have hit the ground running, and that we're working hard, and that we're listening to what your concerns are and trying to address those as speedy as possible.
Your Honor, it's a place called All Fowlers, unincorporated in Linwood, Coney Island. They don't take off the cats, they do take beavers, rabbits, squirrels, deer, whatever other animals you want to bring to them because they're sick or injured, or if they're just a nuisance, trap and bring them in.
Thanks. We're leaving no stone unturned, so we're looking at all options.
We're going to be open on Saturday.
Yes, beginning June 14, the 2nd and the 4th Saturday until December the 13th. We're just exploring to see how it works. We will open the Village Hall from 9 to 12, the 2nd and the 4th, and I would be available for coffee, tea, a donut maybe. So stop by. You'll never know. You'll never who's in the house with me. We'll get to meet elected officials and our dedicated department staff. Put it on your calendar, June 14th to December the 13th. And I do want to give a special acknowledgement to the staff who have been tremendously patient and ready to also hit the ground running with me, that I could not have accomplished what we have accomplished in this short period without the staff cooperation, being available, being ready, and ready to move forward with the change and the uncertainty. So I do kudos to the staff. I appreciate it, and I look forward to us continually working together. Thank you. That's me for old business.
I got a question.
Business?
Yeah, old business. Chief Petro, is there an update about the dog that mauled my family's dog yet? And in addition to that, then I found out about 3 days ago that there's been 3 other families that either the dog attempted to attack, and then the other family, the dog attempted to attack their small dog, and then another family the same thing. To the point that the one family in the point that was walking around the park, the dog started to chase that person, and then the person rang the doorbell of the dog owner, nobody answered. The person actually went into the house to say, hello, is anybody home? Nobody answered. But then the dog ran in the house. It's the dog's house. The neighbor shut the door because now the dog is in the house. That dog knows how to open the front door, because when she started walking home, the dog is now chasing her again. And she said, I just put the dog in the house and closed the door. That dog, that same dog that we're talking about, knows how to open the family front door. Now, I know there's a court appearance coming up soon, but what are we already talked about animals and things like that and nuisances. What can we do about that particular dog that knows how to open the door and chase people around the park? That mauled my sister's dog. Over $1,000 in medical bills for the dog so far. Not that anybody needs to know that, but I'm just saying this dog is a nuisance.
Trustee Brown, that village administrator, that they're looking at those issues, so he will get back with you regarding to next steps.
Okay, thank you.
Can I suggest a dog training class? Because we have people in the room that haven't had an open their door, just letting the dog out. That's your idea of being a responsible dog. Open the dog door, the dog runs out, does his business, and sometimes it doesn't come back in. So I think a class, maybe at the HOA meetings, for a police officer to tell them the cost of a dog bite, the cost of a lawsuit, the cost of all the enforcement that's going to happen if you don't act responsibly.
Who said they're gonna come to the meeting?
Well, they don't. They don't. We offer the meeting, and you didn't attend, so you can't say you didn't know. But it's got to be enforcement.
Okay, with that, open to the public, please keep in mind if you have any questions, this is the time. If you have any questions, you can address those questions to me. 3 minutes, and we will keep time, and let you know when you're
Good evening again. This is a follow-up from a prior commitment with regard to the entrance of Glenwood Dyer at Dante. There was a commitment from the prior administration that that area where we have the sign, welcome to Glenwood, would be attended to by Public Works. And I just want to make sure that that is still the commitment. As a matter of fact, we had a number of people who tried to do it on their own. It just didn't work out. And so we just want to remind the Public Works folks is that that was a commitment that spot will be attended to by Public Works. Thank you.
And we addressed that last week, and that also I talked to the secretary of the HOA to have the president to reach out, either via the village administrator and Public Works to give us a list, and we will correct that while also asking that, because that is public property, that they do not do any more digging, the Public Works will correct that.
I'm Tony Platt. I'm the president of the Manor Homeowners Association. Transparency and information is very important. When we have our HOA meetings, the people who attend expect us to somehow disseminate information and pass it on to them. I will applaud this new administration for being open and trying hard to change the dynamic. However, there was one concern I had, that either we had the money to finish the park, or we did not have money to finish the park. Now, I was told that it was up to the new administration to find the funds to finish the park, and that's fine. But to give people misinformation that we had the money to finish the park, and somehow the work just wasn't getting done. And it's very important, especially around election time, when people need to know the truth. And people need to know that the village has a transparency, responsibility for transparency, to hand down proper information. So I will ask, at the time of the election, did we or did we not have the funds to finish the park?
I can speak to what we have as May 6, 2025. As the engineer reported, we were $1.4 million over budgeted on that project. That project is now a park project to begin with, and so there are no funds for the park. As the engineer reported, we will have to find those funds in order to rebuild a park.
So it should have been a more clear aspect as to what was funds for just clearing off the area and doing what they're doing now, and the park. Okay, so now that's clear. The other question I have is about the detour on 187. It has become a real dangerous situation. People are coming off 187, they're going down Stripe, Rainbow, and Pleasant. I was out Sunday evening. I had never seen so much traffic out there on a Sunday. People are speeding, people are not from Glenwood, and some are, who are just going past stop signs. Some of our streets, especially on Rainbow, are very narrow. And I hesitate to think about car would be sideswiped. But how long will that project be going on? Is there any end to it? And further, what are they doing?
I don't have an answer to that question yet. I'll take your question and get back with you. I did, the engineer and I have been in close communication, and so we're looking into it and waiting for a response. So we do have an answer out there. And going forward, that we will, the purpose and intent bringing back committees that have been defunct is to engage the community, to be a conduit, to ensure that you have real-time information. We now submit information. I submit it to the board all at the same time, so they get real-time information at the same time.
All right, that's a lot.
Good evening, my name is Marquita Barnes. I just had a question regarding ordinance number 2025-03 under the attorney's report. Will we get a copy of the new ordinance? Is that going to be public or just the news?
We are working on the website to ensure that all of the current ordinances, as we amend those ordinances, that they will be available for public inspection and put on the website. But we are looking to totally redesign the website to ensure that she's a friendly and we will put it on there. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mayor. I think we're waiting on it. We've been out here since '92. Okay. And I work most time I work days, so I was never in the area to see what's going on. And I'm retired. I see a whole lot that's transpiring in the community that wasn't here back in '92. We had issues that you come in the entry, every entry of Glenwood over Brookwood, you have a sign that says no parking after hours. We had a village sticker. We had cars all on the street, no village stickers. I feel if I have to get a sticker, we should have everybody on the street should have stickers in that area, you know. And then, a whole lot of cars. Down the street from me, we had renters. They have at least 15 cars on us at times. Another issue with the cars are when the snowplow used to come down there, you couldn't have your car on the street. Everybody had to drive, right? No tickets are being issued. So that's the problem too, I noticed. This past winter, the lady next door, bless her heart, she's over the elderly lady. They parked all on the park where the park where her grass, you know, but she not gonna see anything. But I saw that. In the same house, Carol let her know a lot of things. Another issue, the street signs, where I talked about why we have those signs up saying no parking after certain time, otherwise you get ticketed. We're not ticketing these people. That's why you get away with it. Okay? That's what I see, and that's what I've been seeing for a long time. I want to compliment our police department. It finally was on Glenwood Lancer Road, writing tickets up in the school area. Those trucks are coming through there, flying, they riding on your butt. You come over across the tracks. When Gabe was there, we had no stripes there. I got in 2 confrontations in a year. Somebody got in the left lane and jumped in front of me. And if I had been in my truck, I'd have ran the whole, but I'm in my car. This happens too much. That shouldn't happen. You know.
As we indicated, that it is our intent to review all the ordinance, enforce all the ordinance and all the statutory laws. So I'll be waiting for your complaint when everyone starts getting tickets.
I mean, I compare
Glass
and most of those
cars, but we will enforce it. So you will see.
They're coming from Indiana places through our neighborhood. Those trucks are coming through our neighborhood. Flying down there, tearing our streets up.
So we're looking into that. That comes to my attention. We're looking at that.
After snow removal, street signs, speed limit, this is stuff that I see. And another thing is, this young guy who bought a house across the street from me paid $300,000 for this house. I don't think it was inspected correctly because the soffit is falling off. Roof is apart. I watched the house when they put it back together. So the guy got ripped off. He's crying now. He come to me and asked, I saw that when he was trying to reconstruct the house. They did a shabby job. Whoever did it, and I inspected, didn't catch it. So now the guy's complaining. I bless his heart. Poor young guy. $300,000 house. The roof was no good. The soffit is falling out. We have people over there, they trying to fix that.
The village administrator and the building department be visiting those. All I can say is that as the concerns come to our attention, we're looking into them and we'll get responses in real time. So we will be evaluating that.
Another thing I had when I first moved out here, the street sweeping comes down through at least 2-3 times a year. Maybe once a year. And then they used to walk Glenwood over Brookwood Point. The village would walk there, that area. You had paint chipped on your house, you got citations. That was not like that anymore. Neighborhoods is going down.
We'll try to turn that around. The next culture no other questions? Can I get a motion to Okay. motion, a motion to move it to the bottom. I need a motion to enter into executive closed session under section 2C11 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act to discuss possible protocol implementation against the effect in the bill, with no action to be taken, no reason to delay.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee Hadnot,
Yes.
trustee Mosley,
Yes.
trustee Roll, trustee Taylor,
Yes.
trustee Williams.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee Hadnot,
Yes.
trustee Mosley,
Yes.
trustee Roll, trustee Taylor, trustee Williams.
Thank you for everyone for coming out. We appreciate it. Have a safe night.